Welcome back to Reds Fusion LFC, your home for all things Liverpool. Today, we've got huge updates. A $75 million transfer twist involving a Manchester United target, Arne Slot's growing Premier League headache, Alexis Mac Allister's fitness scare, and even Jurgen Klopp being linked with a Champions League giant. Stay tuned, because this one's packed with drama, passion, and big decisions for the Reds. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with every twist and turn in the transfer window. Liverpool will add $75 million Man United transfer target to Arne Slot squad if January move completed. Liverpool are reportedly interested in signing Brighton midfielder Carlos Baleba. In the January transfer window, Liverpool are seemingly putting plans in place for the January transfer window, with rumors linking them with a move for Brighton star Carlos Baleba. It was a busy summer at Anfield, with 8 new signings being added as part of an overhaul that cost more than $400 million. Head coach Arne Slot brought Florian Wirtz, Alexander Isak, Milos Kerkez, Jeremy Frimpong, Georgi Mamardashvili, Giovanni Leone, Armin Pexi, and Freddie Woodman to Liverpool this summer. Now, fresh reports are already providing rumors about who the reigning Premier League champions could target next. Baleba's future was the subject of speculation earlier in the summer, with the midfielder heavily linked with a move to Manchester United. There have even been suggestions that Brighton could demand a fee in excess of $100 million for Baleba's signature should any club express a genuine interest. Indikaila has now reported that Liverpool may pursue a deal for Baleba in January, with the same source previously cited by The Athletic's David Ornstein regarding Man United's interest earlier in the summer. It remains to be seen if the reported interest is true, and the Reds may have their own valuation for Baleba if they do decide to approach Brighton for a deal in the new year. The CIS Football Observatory have run the numbers and placed their own valuation on Baleba in the current market. Indeed, the website estimates that the Brighton star is worth between 75 meters, 65 meter, and 75 meter. Liverpool were not heavily linked with signing a midfielder in the summer and instead chose to prioritize strengthening their defense in the final hours of the transfer window. Crystal Palace star Mark Guehi was a target, and a deal was agreed between both clubs before the move fell through at the 11th hour. "I think it would be ridiculous if I'm going to deny we were close to signing him," Reds boss Slot said of his side's attempts to sign Guehi. "That is so out in the open that would be ridiculous. These things happen in football. It happened to our players maybe in the past as well, that they thought they were so close to signing somewhere else, and then in the last moment, things change. This can happen. For me, we would like to sign him, of course, because we were in for him. Like I have said many times, if we feel we can strengthen the team with a chance in the market, we never hesitated to do so, and that's what we tried to do." Liverpool concern cannot be ignored any longer as Arne Slot faces Premier League issue. Liverpool are still making a habit of winning late in games, but the time has come for an improvement in performances. Mentality monsters, as Jurgen Klopp once famously dubbed his old team. Now, Arne Slot's Liverpool are acquiring some of the traits that made his predecessor's Charges such fearsome opponents until the very last kick. The late show continued at Turf Moor on Sunday afternoon, when Mohamed Salah's nerveless penalty kick 5 minutes into injury time earned a 1-0 victory at promoted Burnley in maintaining Liverpool's 100% start to their title defense. It was the 4th successive game in which they had scored a winner beyond the 80th minute, the first time in Premier League a team had achieved such a feat. Exciting? Without doubt. But as a relieved Reds celebrated at the weekend, there is an acceptance they must start making life easier for themselves as a new-look team continues to gel. Such was Liverpool's level of control in exerting dominance over the Premier League last season. They were rarely required to dig deep in the closing stages to secure victory. Indeed, they already have earned more late Premier League victories this term than the whole of the previous campaign. Their first such winner on the way to the title came in November through Salah's 83rd-minute penalty at Southampton, which was followed by Darwin Núñez's famous injury time brace at Brentford and Virgil van Dijk's 89th-minute effort to beat West Ham United at home in April. There were late levelers at Arsenal and at home to Fulham, and on the final weekend, Crystal Palace. But otherwise, Liverpool largely avoided the need for hectic interventions in the closing stages. Of course, late winners are nothing new to Liverpool, with Salah's strike ensuring the 47th time the Reds had won a Premier League by scoring in the 90th minute or later, the most in the competition's history. It also moved Slot's side 3 points clear, at the top of the embryonic table, and was only the 6th time since Liverpool returned to the top flight in 1962 that they have won their opening 4 league games. On only 2 of the previous 5 occasions did they go on to win the championship, one of which was the most recent previous such instance under Klopp in 2019-20. Few, though, would contend Liverpool are anywhere near their best, a point with which Vice-Captain Andy Robertson readily agrees. "It's been a good start, but we need to get better," he said, "to be there or thereabouts. At the end of the season, you have to have wins like this, but we obviously have to improve, and we are getting better and working hard on the training pitch. You need to start winning matches more comfortably. Newcastle, Arsenal was won by a moment of pure brilliance. Bournemouth was late, and Burnley was late also. We do need to improve, but it is pleasing we have got 4 wins when we are not at our peak." Alexis Mac Allister drops Liverpool fitness update after injury scare versus Burnley. Alexis Mac Allister was forced off at halftime in Liverpool's 1-0 victory over Burnley after being on the receiving end of a tackle from Leslie Ugachukwu. Alexis Mac Allister has given a hint over his fitness situation to Liverpool after being withdrawn at halftime during Sunday's victory over Burnley. The Argentina star required treatment after being on the receiving end of a tackle from Claret star Leslie Ugachukwu. Mac Allister stayed on the pitch until the interval before being replaced by Connor Bradley at the break, with Dominic Szoboszlai moving into midfield following the change. Liverpool managed to win the game thanks to a stoppage time penalty from Mohamed Salah, which was awarded after a handball from Hannibal Mejbri. The Argentina international has experienced a stop-start beginning to the campaign after missing the conclusion of last term with an unspecified injury, reports the Liverpool Echo. After returning during pre-season following a 3-month absence, a minor setback then ruled Mac Allister out of Liverpool's 3-2 triumph at Newcastle United. The 26-year-old appears to have eased concerns regarding his latest knock, with the midfielder eagerly anticipating the Reds Champions League opener against Atletico Madrid on Wednesday evening. "A hard-fought away win. Good work by the team," wrote Mac Allister on Instagram in a post to his 8.5 million followers. "Time to recover my ankle and think about a new Champions League campaign. Never in doubt, Mo Salah." Liverpool head coach Arne Slot also provided an update on Mac Allister's fitness as he explained the decision to substitute the midfielder at halftime against Burnley. "Not tactically, it was a bit of both. Mac Allister missed a lot of preseason," said Slot on Sunday. "He is ready for 1 game a week, maybe 70-90 minutes. He played 90 for Argentina and was really tired after 70, so doesn't have the right build-up to play 3 games a week, 90 minutes. I was always sure I would take him off after 60 minutes for him to be ready to be back on the pitch on Wednesday and Saturday, and I already made 1 substitution in the first half. If I take him off on 60 minutes, then I would have to make another one then. If I want to make changes on 75, I can do nothing anymore." That combined with the tackle that was a tackle that he felt. I'm not surprised by the fact he felt that tackle, by the way. It was a combination of both. He said it was fine and good enough to go on, although he limped a lot. That's more his mentality that he could actually perform at his best for 15 minutes longer. A combination of him being injured, me not wanting to use a second substitution after 60 minutes and us not playing so well. By the way, so bring Dom Szoboszlai into the midfield more. Players who can attack the box, so a lot of arguments. Arne Slot to confront new Liverpool defensive dilemmas as Alexander Isak decision weighed up. A look at how Liverpool might line up when they entertain Atletico Madrid in the Champions League on Wednesday night, when Alexander Isak could make his debut for the Reds, and so to the Champions League for Liverpool, as Arne Slot attempts to bring a 7th European Cup to Anfield at the second time of asking. It's the first of 2 huge home games this week as Atletico Madrid visit on Wednesday night before Everton arrive for the first Merseyside derby of the Premier League season on Saturday, lunchtime. With no Federico Chiesa in the squad for the Champions League this term, Slot might be tasked with bringing in a new attacker in the fold in a certain Alexander Isak. More on him shortly. Elsewhere, there are a number of other genuine selection posers to grab the attention as the head coach weighs up the visit from Diego Simeone's Los Rojiblancos on Wednesday. The goalkeeper situation is straightforward enough, but the options are plentiful on the right side of the back four. Dominic Szoboszlai has excelled in the absence of Jeremy Frimpong and Connor Bradley, but both are now back in contention. Having featured against Burnley on Sunday, Frimpong offers the speed and unpredictability in an attacking sense, while Bradley is assured and athletic. It's a welcome headache for Slot, given more traditional midfielder Szoboszlai has played there for the past 3 games without fault. On the left side, there is a similar issue over Andy Robertson and Milos Kerkez. The latter was withdrawn in the first half by Slot over fears of a second yellow after he picked up a needless caution for diving to try and win a penalty. "Yes, I said already to him that it wasn't smart," Slot said on that substitution. He replied to me that he felt some arm in his back. But let's be clear, it wasn't a penalty. It is funny that the 2 dives we have had in the 1 and a bit years I've been here, they have both led to a yellow card, so we're not really good at it. I see it happening a lot without the referee giving a yellow, but the moment we do it. It was a dive, he told me he felt something, but it wasn't a foul, so it's not smart. Robertson showcased his experience and dependability in the absence of Hungary international Kerkez, and it will be interesting to see what Slot now does against Simeone's Atletico. The Scotland skipper still has an awful lot to offer. Both decisions at full-back represent genuine defensive dilemmas for Slot, although the fact he has so many options also highlights the strength in depth that exists at Anfield. In midfield, Liverpool will be sweating on the fitness of Alexis Mac Allister, who suffered an ankle problem after a poor challenge from Burnley's Leslie Ugochukwu. Argentina international Mac Allister played on but was eventually withdrawn, with Slot saying, "I was always sure I would take him off after 60 minutes for him to be ready to be back on the pitch on Wednesday and Saturday, and I already made 1 substitution in the first half." Jurgen Klopp targeted by Champions League club, and he's already made feelings clear. Jurgen Klopp has shut the door on a return to management after leaving Liverpool in 2024, but that has not stopped one of the presidential candidates at Benfica from targeting him. One of the candidates standing to become the next president of Benfica has vowed to make Jurgen Klopp the club's next manager if he is successful in next month's elections. Klopp, 58, has not managed a club since leaving Liverpool at the end of the 2023-24 campaign. The German has since taken on a new role away from the dugout as Red Bull's global head of soccer and has heavily implied that he is done with management amid links to different clubs over the past 12 months. However, that hasn't stopped Cristóvão Carvalho, a potential Benfica president, from setting his sights on the former Premier League and Champions League winner should he be voted into power by the Portuguese outfit. And he's also outlined grand plans for the future with the goal of reaching the Champions League final in the next 5 years. With me, Bruno Lage, Benfica's current head coach, won't stay beyond his contract, which expires at the end of the season, explained Carvalho during an interview with Portuguese outlet SIC Notícias. Ahead of the presidential elections on 25 October, I need a world-class coach, one who has already won the Champions League and who wants to win a Champions League with Benfica. There's only one name in my head, Jurgen Klopp. He even said that Benfica is a great club that he would like to coach one day. Someone who says that has something more to be at the club than anyone else. With Benfica today, it's obvious we can't win a Champions League, Carvalho continued. But I have a financial plan geared toward that goal. I can promise Benfica fans that, in 4 or 5 years, we'll be playing in a Champions League final. While Carvalho has designs on luring Klopp to Benfica, it seems unlikely that the former Liverpool and Borussia Dortmund chief would consider such a move. He made it clear as recently as June that he was enjoying life away from management and didn't sound like he was in a rush to return to the dugout. "I don't want that anymore," Klopp told Welt when he was asked about speculation linking him with the Bayern Munich job. "I have a job now that fulfills me and is also intense. I don't sleep longer in the mornings, nor do I go to bed later at night, but I can organize my work much better." For example, my wife is totally happy about it because we can plan things much better that we couldn't before. It was never about doing nothing, but about doing something different. I have coached 1,081 games, not including friendly matches. If we count those from 23 years, maybe it's around 1,200. Then there were the press conferences and media appointments. I was always just reacting. And in Liverpool, the tasks as a manager were added on top. That was a lot, really a lot.